everyone. I decided to make a spontaneous video and just share with you. Next week is the Women's Sea and Soul Day Retreat, and a few people sent me some questions, so I thought it might be easier to make a video. And it's kind of like when you're doing anything, right? Someone's question is everybody else's question, so why not share? So the Sea and Soul Day Retreat is next weekend, and it's from 10 to 5 p.m. And as the name implies, it is working with the elements of water in our emotional body, looking after how we can really come into knowing and understanding our felt sense, and how we can come to care for ourselves through different techniques. So we'll be looking and enjoying somatic movement practices. We'll be doing a deep process of tension, anxiety and trauma release in the morning, and I'll be sharing some really practical tools for self-care. So some of these are soothing touch practices, breathwork practices, and all techniques that can be done in the moment when you need them, when you need to feel grounded, when you need to let go of anxiety, when you feel you're in a heightened state of emotion, when you feel you're in a conversation that is challenging and you really want to kind of own your power and feel safe and authentic in who you are and what you want to express. That's a big skill, and I think it's really becoming more and more important for all of us, right? To stand in our power, to be authentic in our voice, and to feel grounded enough that we can share our truth, right? So I'm a big believer in that. I'm a big practitioner of that, and why the wind is really picking up as I say this. So it is my big passion, and probably my core value is that authenticity in our communication and in feeling free to be ourselves, right? And who doesn't want that? So these retreat days, and also the residential retreats that I do over 4 days, they're all about standing in your power, discovering more of who you are, and coming back into that confidence to be fully, bravely, courageously all of you and more. Because we always find when we drop into our body and our heart that we discover more of ourselves, right? We discover our depth. We discover the darkness, the aspects of ourselves that we haven't taken care of, aspects of ourselves that are in the shadow, that are huddled in the corner, that are just desiring for someone to go and love them and hug them, right? And we have to do that for ourselves. We have to be our own best friend. And when we can do that for ourselves, we increase our capacity for love, because when we can love ourselves more, then we can meet the world with greater love, and the world can give us greater love. Yeah, so we only ever receive what we can give. And so these days, these retreats that I create, it's all about bringing ourselves back, bringing all aspects of us together, and just celebrating in that. And for that to happen, we have to first go on this kind of journey of seeing, of being with what is, of accepting and allowing everything as it is, and knowing that everything passes, everything is in a process of evolving and processing. And when we can see that, and this is a practice of being conscious, the art of being conscious, when we can see that everything is in this fluidity, then we don't get attached, then we don't get anxious, we don't get too overburdened in our thinking and our thoughts, because we know everything changes, everything flows. And that helps us to also be present to the here and the now. So this beautiful day retreat that I'm doing next Sunday is an invitation to just come into that complete heart space. And when we access the heart space, it's timeless. You're coming into a different sense of time. We have linear time that goes by the clock. It's very full of the masculine energy, let's say, whereas feminine time is, which is within us all, it's not gender related. And this aspect of feminine time, this inward journey, this embodied state is timeless. And that's what we all deserve and what we all need, our infinite attention to ourself, and and that's so simple. That's just like checking in every day when you're driving in your car and like, how am I doing? How do I feel right now? Or you're in a conversation with somebody and you feel the nervousness in your body, you feel the shake, and like, how can you just be like, okay, I feel that, I'm going to be with this and take my time in this moment. And for me, I notice when that comes up, I put my hand on my heart. Such a simple thing to do, but your body always knows best. It always knows. And that's a huge thing I really believe in, is it's about empowering everybody into a place of confidence, because you know what's best for you. And I say this about children all the time, the workshops I do with parents and children. It's all about, passing over that power to the person. They know what's best for them. So it's all about regaining this confidence, coming back to the body, giving it time to settle, and then feeling like, yeah, I know what's right for me, and then taking that forward into the rest of our life. Now, who doesn't want that? Hopefully everybody wants that, to feel, I know I'm listening, and I'm going to follow that authentic feeling that I have within me to do and say and be exactly as I feel and exactly as I need in this moment. So yeah. So I didn't plan on sharing all I'm sharing. I'm just in the moment. So yeah, next week is the Women's Day retreat, and it's called Sea and Soul. What's happening on this day? We are doing practices around, as I mentioned, somatic practices to come back into the body, to return to the heart. We're going to look at self-care tools that are just practical to the everyday, whether it's for you or for your children or the people that you work with. Quick tools and techniques that I use all the time. And we're going to go through a process of 10. Oops, that's my alarm. We're going to do some deep tension and trauma release, just to let go of anxiety, holding, gripping in the body, So when we're like this, we don't have the ability to flow or grow naturally. So we can't let things move through us. That emotion, it needs to move. So we're going to disperse and break up that energy that maybe has us feeling stuck or aggravated or frustrated, and then from there we're going to go into movement, into the practice I've developed called soul dance. So we're going to come into the waters of the body and the emotional body and just help disperse and release, and just go with our flow again, regain that flow. And then at the end of the day, we're going to go down to the sea. And at the sea, we're going to do a few different practices. I'm going to bring in a constellation practice for empowerment, something that you'll be able to take away and do for yourself. And I'm also going to introduce you to some of the healing work that you can do with stones. So I won't go into it too much here, but stones, just the stones you find at the sea or in the forest, they actually have such a power for helping us really let go of the heat of the body, so to speak. So that could be the emotion, for example, the worry. And there's so many wonderful techniques with stones to help us ground, to help us let go, to help us filter. So that's something I'd like to share with you. That could be a whole day workshop in itself, but I'm going to share some of these great tools that I use every day. And now we're going to finish the day with a water ritual. So the water ritual is going to be a really beautiful practice that is cleansing and absorbing and refreshing us and helping us renew. And it's a way of anointing ourselves with all the intentions of our day. And in that way, we're preparing ourselves for new beginnings, new starts. And it's a beautiful time of year to do that because we have Samhain at the end of the month, and we're beginning the Celtic New Year. And it's beautiful to work through all this process now in order to really go into the winter months with this beautiful foundation, this rich soil. And then over the winter, that's when we plant our seeds and we hibernate and we let all of these things find their roots. So this invitation is here, and I'd love you to come and join, be with me in person. And it's taking place in Wicklow, and you'll see everything on my page at Healing Yoga Soma. And it's on Sunday, and it's from 10 to 5, and I'm going to be doing another one in November. And so next Sunday is Sea and Soul, and then in November I'll be doing the second part of this workshop, which is all about doing some work with the forest and the earth. So they're beautiful journeys that encompass nature and our nature, so bringing our true essence more into our everyday being, and finding practical ways of being in connection with nature all the time, and enabling that to really support our mental well-being, our emotional well-being, and our spiritual well-being. So if you have any questions, please message me. I'm here, and I'm always very responsive to whatever someone wants to share. And the question that comes up all the time is it okay to come on my own? I encourage you to come on your own. That's giving yourself the space, the gift of just being there for you. Isn't that wonderful? And just giving yourself that time. And I know it's hard sometimes to do something on your own. You feel vulnerable and nervous, but actually sometimes that vulnerability is really a sign of coming into a new space, something new. And in that vulnerability, if we can find our feet and find our breath and put our hand on our heart, we can often come into this place of knowing, okay, this is an opportunity for me to grow. And I know that stepping into this is going to be something that's going to bring learning. So learning has always got this element of nervousness and apprehension, yeah, but that's also a good sign that you're going into something that's going to help you evolve, that's going to help you step forward into something brighter and better. So the power of being connected to your heart and your body is knowing the difference, when something is like, ooh, will I go for this? Or knowing if it's a different kind of feeling, that's just a clear no. So come as you are, and come on your own. What you're going to find is you're going to meet like-minded people. You're going to find the right people. You're going to find there's always a synchronicity in who comes to an event, I find, and the right people, the right group always form in that moment. And it's really uplifting and supporting for all those who come to see that they're not alone. We're all in this together. We're all doing our absolute best in these challenging times. And we all want to support each other, yeah? And now that we can actually come together and be together in more ways and in powerful ways, let's grab that by the horns and jump in. And at the end of the day, we will jump in. You can either jump into the sea, or you can go for a swim, or as I do, I just float. I don't swim, I float. Or you can dip your toes in or stroll by the sea, and it's just going to be such a nourishing, fun and beautiful day, yeah. So check it out. And then for anyone that can't come next Sunday to the day retreat in November, I have the 4-day women's rebirth retreat, and you should look at my website for that. We have a very deep dive over 4 days in this beautiful country house, and it is an incredible event. So if you want to check out more information, go to my website, which is healingyoga.ie, and then just click on events or retreats, either one. click on that and you'll see all the information for the day retreats, the mother and daughter retreats, and then the residential retreats. So come back to me if you have questions, and yeah, it's just nice to share with you, and stay in your power, stay in your beauty, stay in your freedom, and I send you so much love. Till next time. Namaste.